and welcome back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
And it is halfway through December. Are y'all ready for Christmas? Are you ready for... I'm not ready for Christmas. Not yet.
I'm semi-ready.
I'm not almost at all. So, I hope you are more... So, you should get on your... Whatever you're stitching for Christmas. You can start that now, so we'll talk you through it. All right, I guess Beth's going first?
Yeah. Okay. I got a bunch of stuff here.
A lot less than last week, or I wouldn't have said you go first.
What difference does it make?
First of all, I've talked the last 2 weeks about stuff patterns that I downloaded, that I purchased at the Jingle Ball. And actually, people who attended have access for like 30 days after the Jingle Ball to some of the classes. The pay for classes were people who attended have access to those, to help finish up whatever they were working on or whatever in the classes, and like the free patterns were the little freebies that each of the designers had are available, for attendees. So I actually printed off a couple of some of them and downloaded all of them, because I thought if I download them all, then some of them I thought I'm probably not going to stitch that, but they might be smalls for something like that, or they're just like what I call resources, And then I also finished going through my patterns, except for I have a box that has like kits in it that I didn't count, but I went through all the ones that I've purchased and downloaded and everything else, and the ones I have in my big notebook, and I actually went through my punch needle magazines and flagged the ones that I like. And so
you should write those down.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I did.
The ones that in the magazine, so that when you can have a
reference. I did. Yeah, and so that's not counting whatever might be out there, if in my digital access to the magazines. But I did purchase one that I already had.
Of course you did.
But I don't have the magazine. I think it's just online, because back when I first started buying it, I didn't have a subscription, and so I missed whatever issue this one was in. But anyway, but I think counting the ones in punch needle, but not counting the ones in the kit box, I have enough patterns that if I were to stitch them all, I would have enough for a new start almost every day of next year. But I did find, in going through all my patterns, that there were some that I thought, I'm probably never going to stitch that. And so I might, at some point, do a giveaway of some of these patterns. I have to see. But anyway, one thing else that I got from the Jingle Ball that I was waiting on is this little, we'll put a picture of it so you can see it. But it's a little wooden scissor fob. That's
a scissor.
That's a scissor. And it says on the bottom, "My scissors, my rules." And this is from Heartstrings Samplery. And actually, Beth Twist did a little video of how to put this together for those who might not get it. And actually, I was like, wait, does this go? I know this goes here, and wait, how does this go together? So it helped me a lot. There's a little black little heart bead, pony bead, and that goes on the lanyard, and then the lanyard goes on the scissors, and then there's a little lobster claw. But I didn't try every pair of scissors that I own, because I own quite a bit. But the ones that I tried were like too thick for that little lobster claw. So I might put a different lobster claw on there for my scissors, so it'll fit all my fat scissors. But anyway, I was waiting on that to come in the mail, so it did the other day. So I've been stitching like crazy. the last few days, and I have 3 finishes since last week. But first, I last night I worked a little bit more on this Blackest Cat from the Black Cat season by Lindy Stitches, and I'm almost finished the word Halloween. I have just the H to go, and then there's a little cat feet thing scenario here. But the reason I'm trying to get to the end of that, at least get the beginning of the cat area here, is so that I can get to the bottom of the pattern and put another one of the little freebie borders on there and start the next one. But I kind of think that's not going to happen until next month. So anyway, that's the number 3 pattern. So I have 3 more to go of that series. But okay, and then I have 1 more day to go on this Elephant Biscornu by Tiny Modernist. This one here. 1 more day to hit the goal. And all I really have left on here is this little elephant's flower crown, and then 2 more little flower squares. And I may or may not be able to do that in 1 day. But I won't be able to get to the other half of it, the back side of this Biscornu, before that. And it actually is going to be pretty big. Looking at this, it's going to be huge. Now that I look at it, it's going to be a huge square. But this
There are elephants.
Yeah. Elephant Biscornu. This is on.
Expect it to be tiny.
No, this is on 25 count Lugana, and that's why I think it came out so big. But anyway, there it is, that one. So, like I said, I have 1 more day to meet the goal on that. And the other thing is, the only reason I'm showing this again is because last week when I showed it as a finish. I finished it during our video here, right? This is the Snowman 2023 by a Lindsay Waite of Primrose Cottage Stitches. I've talked about this a lot. And I showed it last week. I thought, oh, it's done. I finished it but I forgot to backstitch his little mouth.
Oh.
So it was like, is it mute
99%.
Snowman? Now, yeah. It's 99.9% finished, but now I put his little mouth on there, so now
Is
he
he
really
frowning?
is finished. Yeah. He's got a little smile.
Oh, it's cute.
He was mute before. And then, the other thing I did, what I was stitching madly on, I think I had, no, I don't think I've shown this before. These 3 are all out of this book by Brenda Gervais with a needle and thread called The Snowball. And there's 7 little designs for like pin keeps, whatever. There's 2 here on the front. This one called Snow Day, which is a little snowman on a sled. And this one here called Let It Snow, which is the snowman in just, I don't know, in the field or something. And then this book, inside, where there's like white space, there's little excerpts from the various designs in there. But this particular one with this little fat bird, is not anywhere in any of the designs. The bird that is in here is in the design, but it's like a skinny little version of the bird. This in here, one of the little snowmen has the bird sitting on his head, and he's a skinny little version. See there, right? But there's a little fat version here, and this doesn't appear in any of the charts. And I loved this bird so much with the little fat birdie and everything else that I blew it up on my PC Stitch chart so that I could see it, because the snow in the scene it's like slightly gray on the white background, so you can see it if you're staring at it, but it's hard to see when you're to stitch from. So I just blew it up on my computer and made it big. So, but all of these come from, I'm going to use this as the background. So I did this one, Let It Snow. This one here.
Was it finished?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
Oh, you already finished
Yeah.
this a while ago.
Yeah, I finished this
see.
one
Oh,
a
this is your-
few days ago.
I see.
And then the same day actually that I finished that one, I started and finished this little bird. This little tiny bird.
Little
I
fat
can't
bird.
see it.
It's so cute.
Yeah. And then yesterday I finished this one, which is the little snowman on the sled.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. So I have plans for
So,
those.
did I tell you where I first saw those reindeer?
Huh?
Helen D, excuse me, had them, and she was
These reindeer?
yeah.
Oh.
There, I got them off of Amazon, like she did. But the reason that she bought them is that she did little patterns like this, and she put them
Oh.
inside.
Oh,
You
in
know,
the little
yeah,
cup
like a
where
little, yeah,
Oh.
rounded version inside. And I'm like, this tiny little bird, if it didn't have the snow, would work. But that's what she did. She just
Yeah.
took little pieces of.
Patterns. Yeah. So I have, like I said, I have Christmas plans for all three of those designs. And I think that's everything for me because I've been, like I said, working like a madman on those
the snowman.
snowmen. Yeah. So
Are
that's
you
it.
done, Eve? I mean, you want to go next, Eve?
No.
Okay, I'll go next. So you remember last week I had the cuff of this done, and I started doing red, and then I'm like, no, and I went back, and so I think it's much better that I started with a white. And I did the 50 rows of the leg. This is a stocking for a friend of mine's brand new baby, or grandbaby, and this is the heel. This is actually paid work. She said she'd pay me. I don't know what I'm going to charge her, but anyway. I did the heel, and then I finished the foot, and now I'm working on the toe. So I'll be done with this probably today, or maybe even on camera. I don't know. And I've been this little marker shows what I consider the back, because this is the line on which I've been doing all the color changes, and you can see there's always a little jog, and I didn't worry about the jogless change. If you're a knitter, you understand what I'm saying. I didn't worry about a jogless stripe. I just made jogs. But I did weave in the ends as I went. When I got about 4 stripes done, I'd go back and weave in all the ends because I don't like all those holes. Drive me nuts and make me scared. So this is where all the color changes are. So I figured, so I put the heel so that it would be in line, so that this would all be in line. Mm-hmm. And this little marker is where I'm going to put the hanger loop. And I texted the grandmother, and I was like, do your stockings hang to the right, or do they hang to the left? Like, where do you want her name? And she said, because I'm going to duplicate stitch the name here. Oh, so I won't be done with this today. But anyway, she goes, I hang them on the mantle, or no, I hang them on our staircase banister, I think is what she said. And they hang every which way. And because I said, does it hang to the right or left? Because, and I'm like, okay. She goes, it doesn't matter. And I was like, okay, because mine all hang, like I have some that hang the other way than and it kind of drives me crazy because I want them all to go the same way on the mantle. So that's why I asked her. She's like, it doesn't matter. So, so I'm gonna duplicate stitch her name on here, and that will be my paid job for December. It costs $50. No, I'm just kidding. I'll take whatever she wants. I mean, the yarn only costs $10. So, and it's acrylic. It'll
Pricing
last
something
forever.
you made is probably one of the hardest.
It's so
things.
hard. I know. I know. And I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see. It's sparkly. Because I asked her, do you want sparkle or no sparkle? And she goes, she's a sparkly girl. I'm like, okay.
You know, when I was working, I had to price the artwork that the people were making to try to sell it, right? And one of the other people came in and she said, that's too much. And I said, that's the price it is.
Yeah.
Well, that's too much. And I'm like, it's $10.
Jeez.
It was a painting that somebody did. And I was like, if you don't want to buy that for that price, go buy a printed one at the store.
Yeah. Go to Target.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten any further on my Arne and Carlos stocking because I've been working on this. And this is just for me, so if I finish it next year, that's fine too. So that's nowhere. But I forgot to tell you all that when I was in Boston, Hannah and I went together here. I told you that story, and I got her the sweater yarn, and she's already gotten to the sleeve and divided for the sleeves, and so she's going gangbusters on that. But I bought a skein of yarn because I have a friend who gave me lots and lots of bassoon reeds before he left, before they left to move, moved away. So I wanted to make them something, and I debated long and hard, and I said a hat would be good. They're going to Washington, D.C., where it is cold. So I decided to make a hat, and I found this yarn. I'm going to put a picture of the skein because it shows the colors better than in this ball. It's a Manos de Uruguay Alegria Grande is what it's called. And the color is, I can't remember, I forgot to bring the label with me. I can't remember the colorway. But it's really cool, and I looked at pictures of it knit up, and so it'll be very color blippy. But I figured like a plain hat pattern would be good. I'm going to show you guys a picture. I'll put a picture up here. But it's a funny story about this yarn, though. Because I got all excited about it, and I started winding it into a ball, and then I realized you can't really see the colors in this ball, right? So this is probably closer to what the hat will look like, just a black hat with blips of color. But the skein is so pretty.
Oh, yeah.
See? So I had started winding it into a ball, and I was like, oh, dang, I can't take a picture. I forgot to take a picture when it was in skein form. Mm-hmm. So I put the thing back on the Swift and rewound it into a skein. And I didn't tie it up, but I twisted it up and put it on the table, took a picture. And then I wound it into a ball. But yeah, so this is nice yarn I bought in Boston to make. My other things, so that's really all I have to talk about because I've been pretty... but I went to Hobby Lobby the other day. It's always a story, right? I went to Hobby Lobby the other... No, it wasn't Hobby Lobby. It was Joann's. This is a Target bag, but ignore the bag. Excuse me for the plastic crunching. And they had this incredible sale. I meant to call you all.
Uh-huh.
They had buy one, get 3 free.
Oh, wow.
So I got 4. They had it on ribbons. They had it on tablecloths. They had it on...
You mean on Joann's?
Yeah, Joann's.
Oh, Joann's. You said Hobby
Joann's.
Lobby again.
Oh, sorry. It was Joann's.
She said Joanne.
It was Joann's. Look at this gnome Santa ribbon. It's black. And then this is really pretty. Yeah. No, please don't ask me what I'm going to do with them. Don't talk to my husband about it. But I was like, I needed to buy this ribbon. Because I want to make a swag with my leftover branches from my tree, which I do every year. Which I still haven't done. It's still, they're still sitting outside. They might be dry now. Anyway,
so you went to buy
but I bought to buy this ribbon, and I was like, I can't just spend $10 on a roll of ribbon and not get the 3 others. So I looked around a long time, and I found this one. This is really pretty.
Really pretty, yeah.
And I really like this too. And then the I couldn't
Had to
pass
get
that.
that,
out.
yeah.
The one with the trees would look so pretty on a wreath.
This one, yeah.
Well, they all would.
Yeah.
But
So this was last weekend. I think it was when I left here. I went to Joann's last week.
yeah.
So see, it's been a week. I haven't. Oh, because then we went to get the tree.
In the last week, that was Sunday. That
Or
you
maybe
got the
it was
tree, 'cause
after.
Saturday.
I know why. Because we got the tree home, got it up. After I left here, we went to get a tree. Right?
No, we filmed on Friday last week.
Oh yeah.
Friday night, because you had the gig.
Oh, I had
Saturday or-
that's right. I
yeah.
had a rehearsal Saturday morning. After the rehearsal, we went to get a tree on Saturday, and we. So then I went to Joann's on Saturday because I needed a couple. We put the tree up and got the lights out, and they were dead. They were half dead, and I'm like, I'm not dealing with you. I'm not gonna go. I'm sorry to be this way, but I'm not gonna go searching through all the bulbs to figure out which one is not lighting. And I don't even have replacement bulbs for those anyway.
They're
Those-
so hard to get out. They always come with 1 or 2 replacement bulbs. Like
The
you
new
can figure.
strings, though, they have a little latch on them. They're
Yeah.
real nice. Because I bought new
But you
strings
still
for
have
outside.
to figure out
One is-
which one isn't lighting
Yeah.
to make the whole strand go down.
Right.
There are some that only the bad bulb
Right.
doesn't light.
I think that's
and
the
I
way-
like that kind.
the new ones. I got all LEDs for outside this year. The new strings on the Palo Verde are new, and then I put. I don't. You haven't been to my house at night yet, but
Yeah.
Yeah, the ones outside you have.
oh yeah. So we put them along the roof.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and we haven't.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I'm saying
since
I
then.
put them up along the roof, and I couldn't walk for 2 days after that.
That's
This
like me.
was
I
last Sunday.
I
Saturday?
did the cat boxes on Thursday, and I paid for it all.
Yeah, I think it was Sunday afternoon. I put up lights, and Mark wasn't feeling well, so I did it. Eli who helped me, but so climbing up and down the ladder, I was like in a lot of pain. But yeah, so I got, but I had to go to Joann's and look for something. I can't remember what, and then I wound up having to go to Target to look for lights, and it was the wrong day because it was the weekend, and
whole world
it
was
was
there?
like no, but the lights were just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They always
And
blow out a light.
and I asked the guy, I'm like, are there going to be any more? And he's like, Wednesday. I'm like, but I did find some. They're actually, I really dig them because we have here's a picture of my tree. We have a little skinny tree, and because we have a little skinny spot, it was beautiful. But so it's
I
a
was
little
wondering
tree.
why
I
when
got
you
such
had-
a little one.
Yeah.
Because we just it fits perfectly. Anyway, so I got some lights that were. Sorry, I'm probably telling stories.
Yes, you are.
That's okay. But they're like kind of old fashioned. They're like teardrop shaped. They're like this big,
Oh.
and they're faceted, and they're blinky.
Oh.
Anyway, okay. Sorry. So I was telling the story about the ribbons and why I got the ribbons. Sorry.
I was gonna say that I saw. I was watching a Flosstube episode, and the lady was talking about she had a whole bunch of patterns of whatever that you got, but she was talking about how stash acquisition and stash, like what you're gonna. Like, what did you
Plans?
say? Yeah, like pattern collecting and pattern stitching are two separate things.
Yeah. Anyway, so that is all I am doing. I have other things to talk about, but that's it for me.
So
Sorry, I took a detour.
I am working on my temperature cell because I forgot to do it yesterday.
I thought about you too because it was like it's supposed to be 80 degrees today or something like
It was
78 or something.
It was 79 yesterday.
Oh,
So 2023 temperature cell by Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts. I did put this on my WIP-GO,
next year.
but I put it on the free space so that if I work on it, you know, I'm used to working on this at Friday night, except I didn't yesterday. I don't know. I wasn't feeling well yesterday. Anyway, so I can finish this bottom part, you know,
Oh,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
not
But
stressing
my
out.
my intent is to work on it for a little while on Friday nights anyway,
Right.
so that if it gets called, because it's always called with something else,
Yeah.
with 2 other things, I won't have 3 things, or this will be just a little bit, unless it gets called in January. Anyway, so you'll see a picture of it. I'm not going to show it to you now because the needle's all in it and not everything's falling, and it's like half done. But it was basically the same temperature all week until yesterday when it went up to 79 again.
Oh man.
It
But
was
the mornings are cold.
oh
Yeah.
very cold.
I was getting dressed and it was like 36 when I was getting dressed the other morning, and I'm like,
on Thursday I had to go get my last injection in my knee, and I didn't want to wear pants because
because you've got to expose your knee.
yeah, and you have to wear the type of pant that they can get up over your knee. No, so so I had to wear shorts. I didn't have to. I chose to, and I walked out the door and I was like, I knew it was going to be cold, but it was very weird wearing a jacket with my shorts. I looked like those guys that always do that here. There are many, many men here that wear shorts all year round, no matter what the temperature is, and you're like,
Stop it.
you
That's
look
what I
like
say to people like that.
you
Just
look
stop.
like an idiot. Okay,
stop it.
so I have a finish. This is from sorry, I'm all discombobulated over here. From the Christmas Ornaments magazine, and this is called something.
Peace? Is that the peace one?
I think it's called Peace on Earth, but I don't know. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Peace on Earth by Evdokia Nikolaev. You know what? You know I can't say it.
You've not been able to say it. From day
But I have it in my Flosstube. I have it written out in the notes below. So, so it's all done. And I'm I was thinking about it for finishing it as a round thing, and I was like, I don't know that I really want to do that. So that's why it's not finished. I finished it Tuesday, earlier this week, and I haven't FFO'd it because I've been contemplating what I want to do with it. So it's supposed to be an ornament, but the problem is with the ornaments in this ornament book is that they're huge, and it's like they call it an ornament because you can make something hanging, but unless you have a very large tree, you can't put it on a tree. So I don't know, but since I'm sending this, I have to get it. I'm running out of time to get it there by Christmas. So I also did more work on the Candy Swirls by Julie Debortelli. I don't know. And so I finished one color and started on another color. See?
Oh,
candy.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to backstitch across the top, and I was like, no, I can't do that. But it's supposed to be a little like pillow finish, and so you're supposed to finish the pillow here, so you don't need a backstitch across the top. And I like the fact that, of course, the sample is stitched on white, or something whitish. I like the fact that they tell you to backstitch around the white that you're stitching, so that you know you don't have to worry about it, how well it's showing up, you know. So I am not stitching it on white, and this is way wider than the pattern. So I'm wasting a lot of fabric, but I was too lazy to go measure how much I needed. And all of these say, you need a 10-inch square. I'm like, thing's 4 inches. I mean, why would you need a 10-inch square? But whatever. Anyway, I worked some on this one, and then because I finished Peace on Earth, I started, I think it's called Holy Family. And of course, I just saw it as I was flipping through, and of course right now, I don't see it. I wanted to get the designer's name. Just a minute. You're seeing a picture of this as I'm fussing around, but talk amongst yourself. So, Holy Family Folk Art, original work by Jane something of January Jane Shop, adapted for cross stitch. And so I kind of like the fact that it's made from artwork. And I just fell in love with this, and hoping I can get it done soon, because I have at least one more that I want to do. That is not enough for my family, but I was trying to be realistic. And also, I know Beth is giving cross-stitch things to people. And I didn't get, like, super far. I didn't cut this piece off. But this is where I am. And again, I started in the middle on the top, and it looks like off center. And I'm like, but that's the middle. But I don't know. So,
Oh, it's because on the side it has the back stitch boards, so where their two heads are together.
I think her body also comes out fatter here, and his is more lean. So it looks like I stitched all one color. I did not. This is.
Oh, you told me, is that
4
the one?
colors?
Oh, I'm sorry, little dog.
Did you kick my dog?
I kicked your dog. I'm sorry, little dog. Is that the one you said was like, looks simple, but it's like a million colors? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you had said that because you weren't going to do it.
No. I like it.
Hi,
I'm
sorry
actually,
I kicked you.
if I finish it, this is what your husband is getting for
Oh,
Christmas.
nice. If not, he's getting a lump of coal.
If not, he'll get what everybody else is getting.
A lump of coal. That's what I'm giving out. Lumps of coal.
Well, you know. So, there was something I wanted to look at. So, I had taken a picture of this when I first got the magazine. So I hadn't really looked at the color version very much. And even when I look at it again, I'm like, oh, I really like that.
That's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
That's really pretty.
Didn't I buy you a sculpture of a mother with her children that's kind of that shape?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think when
Yeah.
Eli was little.
Maybe. Yeah, I think so.
And it was, you moved houses since then.
Yeah.
More than once. It's amazing how things, when you move, even things you really like or whatever, just kind of, I don't know where that is.
It might be in my curio cabinet, actually. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I think I remember that.
So, that's me. But since Naomi already told the story, I'm going to tell one
Okay.
that happened earlier this week. So, I don't know where Beth and I were, but as I was coming into the house from the garage, there was a fly that flitted around me. And I didn't realize that the fly came inside. My dog is terrified of flies. Now, I don't
She's not
think...
really terrified of flies. Well, she thinks flies make a very loud sound.
Yeah, because my dad would go after them constantly, banging with a fly swatter everywhere. So she hides, and if you make her come out, she's vibrating with fear. And so I let her go wherever she wants to go because she is truly, truly terrified.
We were sitting in the living room, and normally she sits there and like begs when you're eating something, or we were eating lunch or something like that. And she came over next to me and leaned against me, and she was
Yeah, and I generally cover her completely with a blanket so she cannot feel or see the fly.
We're talking about you.
Not to smother her, but you know, to try to calm her down. And then when she starts to calm down, I like peek her out more and more and more, and then she sees the fly and starts over again. So periodically I tried to swat at the fly, but I don't want to swat at it too hard because I don't want to make large banging sounds, because that's what she's really afraid of. Mm-hmm. And when Beth and I were on our way home, we bought Dutch, and I had my drink there, and then it was the ice was still ice, so I poured another drink over it. And Dutch cups, unlike these, the hole where the straw goes in is big, like this.
Yeah, because some people don't.
Some people don't.
They
Yeah,
just drink out of that.
So I was stitching or something, and I wasn't paying attention to my drink, and I didn't really think about it. And I went to get another drink, and I was like, "What's that floating in the drink?" And I was like, "Did my Dutch have like sometimes with Starbucks
Did I get a boba accidentally?"
but Dutch drinks don't have stuff,
sprinkles or whatever.
They may have foam from, if you get a soft top or something. But I was like, what is that? Thankfully, the cup was clear and my drink was light colored.
If you'd have put a Coke in there, you'd have been in trouble.
If it had been dark like this, I never would have seen it. I'd have sucked it up through the straw. Because it was the fly floating in there. And I was like, Ro, the fly is dead. Come on. And she still was like...
And so was my drink.
I was so mad because I still had like this much, and it was one of my favorite drinks. I was like, oh, well, it's worth it to kill the fly.
Speaking of Dutch, man, I had a hot cocoa. I was in the mood for hot cocoa, and I went and got it, and they have something called a snow cap, which is like soft top with holiday cookie something on it, and I love what.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the best hot chocolate I have had ever in my life. And Mark's like, that's really good. He was in the mood for a Dutch Bros. The only thing he's ever had from there that I've gotten him is a Palm Beach. And he's like, oh, I love that so much. I want another one.
Well, but I like their drinks a lot better than Starbucks.
Yeah, me too.
And if you just get a tea,
Yeah.
They don't cost very much.
Yeah.
So you don't feel horrible, spending money on tea.
Oh, so I have to tell you the other thing. I don't think I've told you, Eve. The other thing I came home from Boston with was my new favorite water bottle. And I don't want to be like a TikTok girl, because I guess it's all over TikTok. This is an Owala bottle. My daughter has a bigger one, like a 32 ounce, and she convinced me to get one. It's all her fault. But and it's pink. Okay, it has pink in it, even though pink's not my favorite color. Because I was impatient and I didn't want to order one, and I didn't want to go to Target in Boston, which is like a hike and a half. So we went to Urban Outfitters. They sell them there, and there was another one that was like completely pinkish, I think. And then there was this one, which is green, which I like, but it has the pink thing and a pink pink nozzle. But that's okay. But what's neat about it is that
you can taste the pink. I know you can.
I know. But what's neat about it is that this portion right here is connected to a straw, but you can also guzzle it. So you can just drink it like that, but then you can also just pour it, like gulp it. And I don't know why water tastes better in this thing. But I like finally drinking water like I should. I'm kind of good. And so I came home and Eli was like, oh, I said, if you drink more water, son, I will buy you one. And so it locks like that, and then this locks over it so it doesn't leak like in your bag or whatever. It doesn't accidentally open. And what's nice is that, like, so I have a Hydro Flask that I use, but I got a coffee top for it because I like to, because I was bad. Instead of using it for water, I would use it for soda. Mm-hmm. And with the coffee top, you can leave it kind of open, and so that the carbon, like this one that says don't put carbonation in here because it'll explode and damage the thing and all that. But so I'm like, okay, this will be my dedicated water bottle. And I've been drinking so much more water. So anyway, it's my new favorite thing. And what I like about it is, like, I took it to rehearsal and I don't have to, tip it up to drink it. I can just pick it up. I was even in a concert the other night. The church gig I did last week, and just was able to pick it up and sip it, and not make a big old show of drinking water, which I really liked. So that's my new Baba.
There's a pop song where one of the lyrics is something like, she says, don't drink enough water.
I know, I don't. I have not drunk enough water.
Very few people.
Now here's the other portion of my story. I have to apologize to you.
Oh.
Because I thought about it the other day, and I was like, wait a minute. I do think Beth made me the gnome scissor fob. And this morning, I'm like, I think I know where it is. It was in a cross-stitch kit. And so I dug it out. So here's my little gnome. My little gnome scissor fob.
I was wondering about it, because like, I couldn't find it anywhere. And I thought, well, I guess I just put it,
I know, and I was like, you never made me. I never get scissor fobs. You never made me a scissor fob. I didn't have a scissor fob.
Well, that takes one thing off my Christmas list.
Okay. See, I have this scissors in my knitting bag, and then I put these, because it was, a scissor fob, like all you cross-stitch people do, and I put it in my cross-stitch kit.
Not that you cross-stitch.
Not that I cross-stitch. But so this morning I was like, when I found it, I was like, I never started that beautiful Santa. Remember that beautiful Santa pattern? Because I was like all hung up on, I wrote, on what kind of fabric to use. And I wanted to, hey, get down. Stop it. What kind of fabric to use. And I wanted to dye it. And I wanted to get blue fabric. And blah, 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 blah. But I was like, I never started it. And I want to. So I always have this image that when I'm done all my Christmas stuff, and it's Christmas, and I have nothing to do, I'm going to sit by the tree, and I'm going to stitch some Christmas thing.
When do you have nothing to do?
When am I ever done with Christmas? I'm never done until like the minute before. So anyway, but, and there's little beads on here that say Nomi, which is my alternate name. So anyway, I do have a scissor fob with gnome on it. Sorry. So now you can make one and sell it. So I was like, oh man, Beth's gonna kill me.
I know, I would have killed you if I had already made it.
Oh, and here's my great accomplishment. Oh, see, you hadn't even made it for me. See how you are? You didn't even love me.
It's not Christmas yet. Because I have a week.
No, I wanted to bring it's not finished yet, but this is my great accomplishment at work this week. I'm really proud of it. We're doing a family like offer this starting this next month, and as part of it, I was like, why don't we have something for, because we're doing like a under 18 come free thing, and so I was like, well, why don't we have something to entice the families as well, like a youth program. Like, we're going to invite all the youth to come, but the program is so like, it's for adults, right? So I'm like, why don't we create something? And I'm like, I guess it's me. So I started this. This is just a mock-up, but a youth program. So I took the program notes that's like pages and pages and pages of program notes about the pieces, and I incorporated it right into the list, the program list. So like the first piece is Wagner's Siegfried Idol, and I wrote that he wrote it for his wife, and played it on, for her birthday, and played it on Christmas morning, and the musicians were on the stairs, like just a little thing. And then I put a little clap symbol. When you're supposed to clap, like after the movements are done, then you clap.
It's just me, but people think that they don't like music from years past.
Classical music, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
music.
in Star Trek, they call our music classical music. So, so they think they don't like it, and sometimes I think they should know when that music is used prominently in a movie or a TV show.
We always try to do that too. Like for Carmina Burana, we're like, it was in Excalibur, and it was in this movie, and that movie,
yeah. But
well,
it's like when I took Robert to the ballet to see Nutcracker when he was young. A friend of ours gave us tickets to go see it at the Phoenix.
At Symphony Hall?
Yeah. So when I first told him that there was no words, because he asked me something as we were about to sit down, and I said, no, there's no words. And he's like, no word? How will I know what's going on?
Right.
And I said, you'll know.
Yeah.
You will know. And I think that and his friends were like, you liked it? And I think that
it's all about exposure.
That,
yeah,
because he's like, yeah, it was kind of cool, to his friends. And they think they don't know any of that music. I sang the Carmina Burana with a community choir a long time ago. And every time I hear it, even if it's just for this long in a movie or whatever, I'm like, I
we should
really
have gone to that concert.
That.
It was so good.
I was going to say, when the movie, the one, it's a Vietnam movie.
Killing Fields.
No.
Oh, that's
the one with William
Cambodia.
Dafoe.
Oh, the one with the barber.
Yeah.
It's not Full Metal Jacket.
No, it's
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So there was a music store in Albuquerque, something warehouse, because we always called it something whorehouse.
Sound Warehouse.
Yeah, and they had mostly pop music albums, but in one corner of the store they had all the classical music. And somebody there said that people were coming in asking, do you have that music from such and such Platoon,
yeah,
from the movie? And they're like, it's the barber, okay?
But my aim for this is for each movement, I explain like, this is a fast movement. It's supposed to, like, this violin concerto was written by the composer, wrote it for his wife, who is the soloist. And so, just like what this symbolizes, I just took it straight from the program notes, but just made like one little relatable sentence for each movement, or like the Tchaikovsky Symphony 6, like this is the last piece he wrote before he died. You know, just like really one symbol.
Succinct.
Yeah. And then on the inside, I'm going to have games. Like this is just a match instrument to the classification, like brass, woodwind, percussion, strings, you know.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm working on other games for the inside, just like pencil games. And then on the back, I came up with a FAQ, and it's things like, what should I do when the lights go down? Is it okay to talk? When should I clap? Why does the first chair violin...
something in her mouth.
Why does the first chair violin walk out by himself?
Yeah.
We had to stop because I kept hearing my dog with something, and finally I grabbed her.
She's right here looking at me. You're so
And
naughty.
I pulled out
You're so naughty.
this,
A DMC label.
a DMC label, and I was like, that's one of the colors I'm using right now. So I must have knocked it off when I moved my stuff or something. And so we were looking around, and now my almost new skein of thread looks like this.
That's like what Hobbs does with my yarn.
And I think that there was one thread that was cut off that I was pulling off. So that may have been eaten.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or maybe it's on the floor.
It might be tangled in with that too.
It could be. It could be. But
Naughty dog. Anyway, as I was saying, so this FAQ back here, I'm really proud of it. Like, what does a conductor do? I was like, let's see, I gotta make something up for that. No.
He sounds really good.
He conducts, I said the conductor keeps time for the orchestra so they all play slow or fast together. The conductor also helps to direct different aspects of music, quiet or loud parts, connected notes, or sharp detached notes. I could get a theory dissertation for this. Anyway, and then I was like, okay, what other questions? And I said, how do the musicians know what and when to play? So each musician on stage has studied many years to read a special language, the musical notes that the composer wrote. It looks like dots on lines and in spaces, but each dot represents a pitch. So when the musician sees a dot in a particular place on the lines and spaces, they know exactly how to play that pitch. And add it all together, and you get a symphony. And I put a little
Scale.
staff with scale on it to see that there's,
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm really proud of this.
Yeah. Remember one
I
time
think that's very good.
we went to a concert. I guess it was just after I got out of graduate school or something like that. We went to hear a concert with the New Mexico Symphony, and the oboe player came out. The concertmaster came out and had the oboe player, played an A for everybody to tune to. So the oboe player plays the A first, and then all the other musicians, tune to
I'll read you one. The orchestra tunes their instruments to the oboe's pitch so everyone can play in tune. The oboe will play an A, which is a pitch in the musical scale.
Yeah. So
thank you very much.
So the oboe player played an A, and this guy was sitting in front of us or behind us, whatever, and he leans over to his date or whatever, I guess, and he says they have
to tune the oboe because it's the hardest.
It's the hardest instrument to tune.
Just don't say anything. If you don't really know, just don't say anything.
The extra thread, I found it.
Oh, good.
Good.
So, I had to look because I need another one.
Oh no! Now you gotta go buy another one.
No.
Oh, you're just gonna untangle it?
Yeah.
It might be slobbery though.
No. It's all.
Did you find both labels?
Yes, I found both labels.
Oh, good. So she just played with it.
I'm a thread licker, so my thread is slobbery.
Now no one wants your Christmas presents, Beth.
I can't tell you how many times I've tried to bring a thing over here so that I could thread my needles, and I just find it frustrating. So
you guys are getting your tree today?
Hopefully, yeah.
That's good. Good.
Yeah.
I gotta go home and bake. Today's baking day. I'm supposed to be doing decreases on this toe, and it's getting harder and harder because the stitches are fewer and fewer. And I should have done my double points for this part because it's getting really like stretched out and I don't like it. Very hard. And she's like,
That dog.
I do it on these 16-inch needles, the pattern writer, because I don't like magic loop and I don't like double points. And I'm like, how did you decrease this toe on these 16-inch needles? It's impossible. And I have another decrease row to do. I'm gonna have to go home and get my double points because this is too hard. I think. I don't know how she did it. She must have had a shorter. I don't know.
I was gonna say I finished that the word Halloween on that Black Cat season because I was almost done. I think I just had the H I was working on, and I was like at the end of the thread, and so you witnessed me playing thread chicken. I was always like having to like put the thread through the needle, pull it through, put the thread through the needle, pull it through, because it was like a little tiny snip, and I managed to have just enough to secure the thread, but I had to get my needle threader out because I couldn't get the thread in the needle otherwise. So I had to manage to, and at the end I had like a millimeter of thread left that I snipped off. That I could, yeah.
Just get a new thread.
I didn't want for 2 stitches. I didn't want to. Or a handful of stitches. Yeah. So I thought this thread will make it. I can make it. It'll make it.
The other night I had back when Mary Lou was here. So the bananas were old. The very last day, like second to last day that my aunt was here, we were at Costco and she was like, "I really want some bananas," and I was like, "Oh, okay." So I got some bananas, and then she ate one. And I think she took one on the airplane. And then I had all these bananas. And none of us ate them. So they were getting kind of dark. So the other day I was like, fine, I have to make banana bread. And I was reading for the first time in my Is Better Homes and Gardens recipe book. I love it so much, cookbook. It said to use half a cup of oil or melted butter. And I was like, melted butter. And I did, and it was good. It was very good.
The last banana bread I made tastes terrible.
Well, what'd you forget?
I didn't forget anything. I think it was the recipe. It's very dry.
Oh, so
I like refrigerated. I like all my fruit refrigerated. My mother used to always eat, things room temperature, apples and oranges and bananas, stuff like that. And to me, I guess it's, I don't know if it's the flavor difference, because with room temperature, of course, you're supposed to eat fruit at room temperature, I guess, that it's, juicier, sweeter, or whatever. And I think that's the aspect of it I don't like for some reason.
Because you're a bitter soul, a mean, angry, bitter soul.
I don't want it to be sweet.
Nothing sweet.
No, actually, I do. That's a terrible thing because I do like sweet things, but just not fruit.
What? Refrigerated fruit isn't not sweet.
No, it's not sweet. It's just not as sweet as
because it doesn't
as room
ripen.
temperature. Yeah, but so I always put bananas in the refrigerator.
Well,
and
that's fine.
they get black fast. The skin gets black faster, but the inside is firmer,
of course.
longer. And so I've always eaten them that way. But if they're like room temperature, I can't stand them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I said, I always say I have a love-hate relationship with bananas because when I used to ride my bike all the time, bananas are very easy and convenient because you could stick them in your jersey pocket back here behind your back. And they're wrapped already, and so they're lots of potassium and carbohydrates and stuff like that. They're good for you to eat when you're, using up energy on the bike. But I've never liked the taste of them, especially because they get nice and warm on your back in the sun and whatever, when you're riding around, and they're good for you. But to me, the taste is kind of ooky.
14.
So she put bananas in the refrigerator and they turned very black. And everybody's like, well, you can make some banana bread. And I was like, I kept feeling the bananas, and they never felt soft. And I was like, I don't think those are ready for banana bread. And I guess Beth finally threw them away. I don't know. They disappeared.
Why didn't?
Where'd they go?
I don't know.
They disappeared. I didn't make any banana bread. But, so it's much harder to see when the bananas are actually ripe enough to make banana bread when they're already black for days.
That's true. No, mine were quite ripe.
Yeah, because if you don't wait until they're the right ripeness for banana bread, they're not as sweet.
Yeah. So it came
Now
out
that
really
being
good.
said, I really don't like bananas. I don't eat them.
What was I gonna say? My banana bread came out really, 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 really good. You should use that recipe.
The banana
What
bread that I
recipe
used.
did you
I
use?
couldn't find the recipe that I used for years and years and years. And so I looked online for one, and it had 5 stars, but I didn't like it, and Robert didn't like it. If Robert doesn't like banana bread, something's wrong with the banana bread.
I used to get when
were the bananas were sweet enough?
I think so. I mean,
Did you use enough bananas too? Because like I used
I might have used too many bananas.
I used kind of over, like I thought, oh, it's a little bit more than it said. And I used the butter, which I'm like, what a genius idea. Using butter
Yeah.
instead of oil. Because that's one thing I don't like about sometimes banana bread is the oil. The oil, because sometimes oil has, in my opinion, has a flavor.
It always has a flavor.
And I don't really like it.
That's why, I think that's why the tortillas I made didn't taste right, because I used oil.
Instead of Crisco?
Right.
Instead of lard, yeah.
And they taste different. Plus, it's harder to measure how much oil you're using if you're not actually measuring it.
I'm about to tell you something, but you only get it if you've seen Napoleon Dynamite. But anyway, I'm going to make biscochitos, and I couldn't find I have a bucket of lard, and so I went in and I'm like, Mark, have you seen Tina? Do you know where Tina is? Come get your dinner, you tub of lard. Anyway, so we wrote Tina with a Sharpie on the bucket because I bought a whole bucket of snow cap last year. So I was like, I need to find Tina.
Well, it's funny when you like. I used to have a subscription, and I think I had a digital subscription for a while, but I don't know. But to New Mexico Magazine, and so every now and then they have. They had recipes or whatever in the magazine. And so they were for traditional Mexican food or whatever. But everybody makes it different.
Biscochito was one of those.
Yeah. Everybody makes it different. So there'd be a recipe for, I don't know, tortillas in there or whatever. And people say, well, my grandmother used to do this and my grandmother used to do that. And there'd be all these comments about, like Spanish rice. It should never have this in it, or should I always have that in it, and blah, 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 because everybody makes it different, Yeah.
Well, when I was working, one of my supervisors, I had several different supervisors while I was there.
Crap.
And one of my supervisors wanted to do, for cooking day, she wanted to make enchiladas and guacamole. I was all for that, right? But she was going to do the lead on that because she wanted to make them her way. And I was fine with that because less work for me. Yay, right? she used flour tortillas to make the enchiladas. And so they were super gummy.
Sacrilege.
Super gummy.
We
Now,
apologize if that's the way you make your enchiladas.
I realize that people do.
right.
I realize that some people do that, but I didn't like them because to me, you use corn tortillas to make enchiladas. They hold up better and taste different. But also, when she went to make the guacamole, she didn't want to. I said, "Where's the green chili to put in it?" And she's like, "We don't use green chili. My mom taught me how to make this, and we don't use green chili." And I was like, "Then it's not guacamole. It's smashed avocados." And she got real offended. I mean, so offended by that it was one of the things she was constantly holding against me to try to get me fired. And I was like, that may be the way your mom makes the honey, but she must make it in California because that's not the way guacamole is made. It's avocado dip, you know. And I'm not saying it isn't good without chili. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that that's not the way you make, guacamole is supposed to have green chili in it. Of course, most Mexican dishes are supposed to have green chili in it. Well, new Mexican dishes.
Yeah. That's yeah.
Yeah, here it's hard to get new Mexican dishes.
Yeah, that's the thing about Mexican food is that it's very regional.
Yeah.
Because there's what has been referred to as Cali-Mex, and there's Tex-Mex, and then there's New Mexican, and then in Arizona it's like Sonoran, I guess. So
Which is Mexican,
yeah.
actually.
So there's little variations,
It's Mexico,
flavor variations,
Mexican,
yeah, that's
and
what I mean.
what
Oops.
spices are used or whatever.
Oh, that's
Like
so good.
in my opinion, from being from New Mexico, cheese dip is very Tex-Mex, or certain areas. So, but it's like in New Mexico, you almost never see, in authentic New Mexican dishes, you almost never see cheese dip. And I remember one time I ate it at this. There was a supposedly Mexican restaurant near the church that I went to, and a friend of mine said, "Oh, I'm going to take you to this Mexican restaurant. It's got the best Mexican food," and the name of it was Brownings, and I'm like, what, Mexican food, whatever, because it wasn't like some Mexican name or whatever, right? So I went, and to me the food tasted like what you would get out of a can, kind of. I told her, this is not good Mexican food, no. But one time I the only other time I ate there was once when our church was doing a fundraiser for a family that the husband had died, and the wife and daughter needed financial help, and so a member of the church worked at that restaurant, and so they did a little fundraiser thing. So anybody who bought a meal there, part of the money would go to this family. So I went ahead and ate there, and I just ordered it to go because it was very full. Everybody was eating there, so I ordered it to go, and like everything was kind of smothered in cheese sauce.
Oh no!
Yeah, so I was like, okay, it's edible, it was okay, but it was like, yeah, no, I don't like it, It's like,
So when I was driving Uber, there was somebody who was visiting from somewhere else, and she goes, "I just need queso though. Whatever restaurant we go to, I just need to have some queso." And I was like, "You need cheese that badly? Because that just means cheese." I didn't tell her that, of course, but
queso con cheese, as my mother used to say.
But I'm like, she means melted cheese with something spicy in it. But every plate, it's just like, you're not going to find the exact same cheese dip, for lack of a better word,
Like I would say, it's Tex-Mex.
Well, I don't know.
It's mainstream.
We're being very snotty right
Yeah.
now, so please forgive us.
Yeah, I think of it as mainstream
Well, sure.
Mexican food kind of thing, you know.
But
That's fine, but it's just funny.
at some point, Taco Bell started putting this liquid cheese on everything. And to me, it just tastes terrible. And I can't remember what they call it. But
It's like their nacho cheese, right?
yeah, but I'm like, don't put any of that liquid cheese on my food. Because to me, it's so bad that I'm like, I don't want to eat this.
You know, I always think of it, places like Taco Bell.
I was
Other
like,
fast
first
food
of
kind of
all, if you're
places.
going to be fussy about Mexican food, don't go to Taco Bell in the first place.
But I always think of
No.
it as like my friend Janet, a friend of mine in graduate school. She used to say it's like the difference between Pringles and potato chips. If you can like Pringles taste fine,
I like
but
those.
they're not the same as regular potato chips, right? So you think of Pringles as their own category, and then
And then you're not
potato chips
disappointed.
as their own category. Yeah, and so and I kind of think of Mexican food that way. There's this kind of Mexican food and the fast food Mexican food that and so as long as you're not expecting a gourmet dinner, it's like I think my brother always says that if you want steak, you're not going to go to McDonald's, right? And so it's like there's different it's like Taco Bell. It's fine as far as it goes, but it's Taco Bell. It's not a Mexican restaurant kind of
I know somebody who would say Taco Bell is neither Mexican nor food.
Although, you know what? I've started to like they have like a bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I really like it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A protein bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was like, this is actually kind of not bad.
They have a lot
I
of
like-
stuff that I really
Yeah,
enjoy.
I like their
but-
Mexican pizza, stuff like that.
Mark likes their chalupas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The chicken chalupas he really likes.
I like anything that they don't put that nasty cheese on. If you ask them, they'll take it off and put the 3 cheese blend on there. But they changed their recipe to put that cheese on there when a lot of people started selling, French fries with ghost pepper sauce on it. And, because hot Cheetos were so popular, we need to figure out how we can get that spicy stuff in our food. And I'm like, yeah, you can't just try to, no. And I keep expecting French fries that have some chili sauce type of thing. I keep expecting it to taste good, and I don't know why I expect that, because, But we used to go to a restaurant called Hurricanes in Albuquerque, and they had chili cheese fries. I would drive across town to that place to get their chili cheese fries. It was so good.
Oh, in other news, in other culinary diversion news, White Castle opened over just on the other side of the freeway on Warner.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's the first White Castle, I guess, here. And
Yeah, I've heard. I think I
and
saw it.
So here's the thing. One night, Eli's like, I want to try White Castle. We're like, okay. And it was really late at night. I think it might have been after the concert or something crazy. I'm like, why are we getting White Castle at 10 o'clock at night? Insane, right? And usually all of us, we eat something stupid like that. We're like, why do we do that?
It's good.
We got a meal with 4 little gut bombs and fries. And not any of us felt indigestion that night. They were good. They were all smushed and steamed because they put them in a little box, and by the time you get home, the bread is kind of. But I was like,
They're nothing
these are
like
freaking good
White Castle that you would get
in the
frozen.
No, it was actually really good, and then we had it again another time, and a little bit. I was like, okay, I think this is enough White Castle for a month, but I was surprised that I didn't get indigestion, that Mark didn't get sick, and that Eli, who has a very sensitive gut but still eats bad, didn't get sick. Oh, do you hear that tinkle of the
Dropped
jingle
something?
bells? Yeah, I just dropped my needle. So anyway, I mean, it's expensive like everything else, but you can actually be cheaper. Like they have a 10 slider thing for like $25, something like that, which is actually cheaper than like 4
Individual
the
meal
three
things.
3 meals with, because you get
Yeah.
4 in one of
Uh-huh.
their meals. I was like, we should do that.
I'd never heard of White Castle until I went to graduate school in Indiana, and one of my bassoon colleagues, friends there, we shared a ride to go to Tennessee because he was from McMinnville, or he was going to McMinnville or something like that, and I was going to my aunt's house in Oak Ridge, and so I rendezvoused with my aunt at some little town, and he went on to wherever he was going, and I went with them, and then we met again on the way back. But so in talking with him, he had said something about White Castle, and he called them gut bombs.
Yeah, that's what we call them, gut bombs. But they didn't bomb our gut.
Yeah.
I was impressed with actually how good they are. Look,
I
ready
had
to
some-
Kitchener the toe.
finish it?
I had some
Oh.
in Cincinnati with Mona when I went there, and I was like, I've never heard of White Castle. What are you talking about? And I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And
I still haven't ever had
the
it.
chili that they make is kind of, it looks kind of like Tex-Mex chili, where it's just
You mean in
hamburger.
Cincinnati or
In Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like
Weird.
hamburger with red stuff, right? And I was like, I don't think I'm going to want to try that.
It
And
has,
she
like,
said, no.
nutmeg in it.
She says, no, it's good. And I have to say, I enjoyed it.
And they put it over spaghetti, and it
Cincinnati-
has
Cincinnati
like
chili?
it has like nutmeg flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Cincinnati chili. I haven't liked chili like that anywhere else, but in Cincinnati, I enjoyed it. I did not, however, enjoy the baseball game I went to.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Because it was July,
Oh.
and we were like very close to one of the dugouts, so we were close to the bottom. And I don't know if you know I don't know if this is still the same stadium now, but it was like a bowl like that, and so the sun was beating down on the bottom part, and yeah, it was really hot.
The only major league game I ever went to, major league baseball game I ever went to, was with Mona when we were in Florida, and I think you had already left town, but our flights didn't leave, till a day later or something like that. So we had a day to kill, and so we went to a Miami Dolphins game.
Oh, that's football, baby.
Not
That's not
not-
baseball.
it was a baseball game. Miami, who is it?
I can't think.
Yeah,
You can tell how into sports we are.
it's I think it was Miami, and they were playing against the Chicago Cubs.
Here, I'll look it up because I don't remember.
But anyway, that was the game I went to, and actually I bought
Marlins.
I bought
maybe it was the Marlins. Could have been somebody else back then.
but I bought a little keychain with a baseball and a bat, a little teeny baseball and a little teeny bat, and I had it for a long time, like on my keychain. But the little hide of the baseball kind of wear off finally. But so I don't know if I still have that stashed away somewhere. But yeah, that was my memento of that weekend.
What I'm looking up on my phone now is how to do the Kitchener stitch because it's like the most basic stitch. It's what you do is you weave the tail in and out among the stitches in a way that creates another row of knitting, so it's basically invisible seaming. And I've been doing it for years, and I don't know how to do it. I even bought one of those little wooden things that says but do I have it with me? No. So I'm like, I have to watch a video. I
So,
always have to remember how to do it.
so we should probably go.
Yeah, we should go. Oh, the dog says we should go. Let's see. Come here, dog. Come over here. Come here. Come here.
She's
There
saying,
she
I
is.
ran out of naughty things to do.
There's nothing else naughty to do. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I gotta go bake cookies. And you guys have to go get your tree.
Mm-hmm.
And it's,
Ouch.
we hope that we helped you get further along in all your Christmas stitching.
Yeah.
And we will see you next week when it will be Christmas weekend.
Yes.
It will be Christmas Eve when we record it,
Mm-hmm.
and Christmas Eve morning when you see us next.
It's Christmas Eve.
It's Christmas Eve. Eve. It's Christmas Eve. You'll see Eve on Christmas Eve. Eve.
No, because it won't air till Christmas Eve.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Eve. It'll be Christmas Eve. We hope you all have a great week, and good luck on all your Christmas preparations, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.